Now let's continue our conversation. Alan, I think I'd like to start with what you said early in your message, and that was many people confuse certainty and faith. It's very provocative in a way, because in our current climate, I think a lot of us want an answer for our faith. Could you speak to that a little bit?
I think there's a division in religion, and they're both important, but those who see religion as that which gives answers to questions, and those of us who see religion as that which deepens questions. I don't mean we're all floundering in ambiguity, but what unites us is a kind of silence before the mystery of God. And the trouble with people who are absolutely certain is that there's no conversation. There's nothing. I mean, if you're absolutely certain, what's the point of having a conversation? Because you know it. There's nothing. The new isn't possible. So we need a foundation of faith. That's why we read the stories and we worship and we sing. But when it comes to the intellectual discussion of it, it's never ending. The conversation never ends.
And isn't there something else too in faith that is certain requires nothing from you for a relationship? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like if you can have an attitude of faith, a belief in God, and you have certain ideas about what that means and how you live a respectful, obedient life based on those ideas, you don't have the vulnerability of working it out moment by moment with,
Exactly.
the Lord.
And I would hate to have a relationship with someone who had me figured out.
Yeah, there you go.
I hope I'm capable of, the new and some surprises and so on. And how much more true that is, as you said, with a relationship with God.
Yes.
As if you've got God figured out.
Yes, and as if He doesn't want to experience you moment by moment, be part of your unfolding on a daily, moment by moment basis. He really does want to take the ride of our lives.
It seems like a shortcut around fear in a way, isn't it? To want to arrive at a certain answer.
It is. It's a shortcut to actual experience, of experiencing life. One theologian said, we talk about our experience of God. Have you ever thought what God's experience of you is like?
Yeah.
If you're closed off and not open.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
yeah.
I'm really captivated also by what you've said about our lives being a work of art.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, as a creative person, it really resonates with me.
Sure.
And I've taken to believing that every day is a work of art.
Yes.
And if we really lived it with that kind of vitality, that expectation of surprise, and that expectation of joy, which you also spoke about, we might really find ourselves taking a whale of a ride.
And it's not morbid to say live every day as if it's your last.
No, it isn't.
It's not morbid at all,
That's
because
right.
my goodness, I've got another day to experience, and the world offers it. As Mary Oliver, the poet, said, the world offers itself to us every day, offers it to our imagination. So to see that creativity, Bonaventure, the Franciscan saint, said Jesus is the art of God. So he used the word of God, and he shifted a little bit, saying the art of God, the expression of God, and that we, if we're made in the image of God, who is the artist, then we are artists and works of art ourselves. And I think that opens, religion then becomes a work of the imagination rather than a set lists of things you're supposed to believe.
Absolutely.
That's what I wanted to speak about too. It resonates with me. You've probably heard of a book called The Artist's Way that was written by Julia Cameron.
Yes.
She talks about
good.
really utilizing our imagination to energize our connection with our God. And I think that's what you were alluding to in your speech, about how important our creativity and our imagination is to our faith.
And what happens, if you think of our educational system, when programs in music and drama and the arts are being flattened out or obliterated, and it's very important for children to get in touch with their creativity, because frankly that's the way they negotiate the anxieties and fears and all those emotions. And if you don't have some artistic way to negotiate that, then it often comes out in first boredom and then violence.
Interesting.
So it's very important that creativity is part of our full educational
And if,
system.
as you say, it's core to our experience to be made in the image of God, God is the creator.
Yes.
So we are really truly
Creators.
meant to be creative.
Creators. Yes,
and
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Co-creators with God of the world.
That's right.
It's and then you have that very dynamic thing, a very dynamic relationship. And if you encounter every other human being, even the people we can't work with, the rabbis told the story in the Middle Ages that if you could see every human being is preceded by a legion of angels saying, "Make way for the image of God." And the notion that you're encountering God in another person, particularly in someone you might fear or you might not feel comfortable with, and saying, what God is meeting me in that person. What is God trying to tell me about life?
Well, Alan, I'm going to take that one home and apply it. I got a few places I can apply that one. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I've had a great time.
Really, it's been a very, very stimulating and galvanizing presentation and message.